together on our knees. Let us break bread together on our knees. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy on me.
Welcome to Words of Inspiration with your host and teacher, Elgin Kerlock. And now let's hear from Elgin.
A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. Brothers and sisters, I welcome you wherever you are and whenever you're listening to another discussion in Words of Inspiration. Today, I wanted to talk to you about a very familiar story found in Acts chapter 27 and 28 regarding Paul and the island of Malta. What the story reminds us is that God's ways are above our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts, that he sees the end from the beginning. So even though we may be moving through a season where we don't understand why we have come into a challenging time, we have to have not only faith in God, but trust that he has our best interest at heart, that he is going to use our lives to bring him glory. And so if he's going to use us to bring him glory, then his plans are consistent with that outcome. So the account of Paul's shipwreck and his time on the island of Malta is found in the book of Acts, specifically Acts 27 and 28, as I mentioned earlier. This dramatic episode occurred during Paul's journey to Rome as a prisoner, where he was being taken to stand trial before Caesar. The narrative begins with Paul and the other prisoners boarding a ship bound for Rome under the supervision of a centurion named Julius. However, their voyage was just fraught with difficulties and challenges. Despite Paul's warning about the dangers of continuing the journey, especially during a storm, the ship set sail for the port of Fair Haven in Crete. As they sailed across the Mediterranean Sea, a violent storm known as a northeaster battered the ship for many days. The crew struggled to keep the vessel afloat, even resorting to desperate measures such as throwing cargo overboard and using ropes to secure the ship's hull. In the midst of the storm, an angel of the Lord appeared to Paul, assuring him that God's protection and promising that everyone on board would be saved. Encouraged by Paul's words, the crew and the passengers clung to hope amidst the turmoil. Ultimately, the ship fell apart, and people either swam to the shore or floated to the shore on pieces of the wrecked boat. Despite their harrowing ordeal, all 276 people on board survived the shipwreck, just as the angel had foretold. Upon their arrival in Malta, the local inhabitants showed kindness and hospitality to the shipwreck survivors, including Paul and his companions. As Paul gathered sticks to build a fire and lit the fire, a viper emerged from the heat and bit him. And Paul shook the viper off into the fire. However, Paul miraculously suffered no harm, which amazed the islanders and led them to regard him as a holy figure. During the time on Malta, Paul also encountered a man named Publius, the chief official of the island, whose father was ill with fever and dysentery. Through the power of prayer and the laying on of hands, Paul healed Publius' father and all the other people on the island who were sick. So the blessing that the people on Malta received was the result of a shipwreck. Now, to Paul and the other 275 people aboard that ship, that wasn't a blessing. They saw it as a great challenge. They saw it as their lives in peril, not realizing that in God's plan, it was about the people in Malta. They were praying for a solution for their sick, and God delivered it through Paul. So, brothers and sisters, do not grow weary in well-doing. Do not grow weary when you are challenged in a situation, because you don't always know where it's going. You don't understand. We don't understand what God has planned. So be faithful, be diligent, and let God lead. Until next time, God bless.
I've wandered far away from God. Now I'm coming home.
Words of Inspiration with Audley McLean is a ministry of Harvest International. You may write to Audley at Harvest International, Post Office Box 6690, Ocala, Florida 34478.